Hi everyone, and today we're going to start with our class 10 book First Flight, in which I'm taking the first chapter of this book, A Letter to God, written by G.L. Fluentus. Beyond you and me, there's a power called God. And between God and us, there's a bridge which is trust, a bridge of faith, a bridge of confidence, hope that everything will be all right and He's the one who's going to make it all right for us. The main character of the story, A Letter to God, Lencho, is also one of those people who had undeterred, immovable, undeniable faith in God. And today's story is about Lencho because at one point of time in his life, he was devastated because of a big hailstorm which destroyed his entire crop. And he was worried what he would do for the rest of his life because he had children, he had wife, and he had no money to look after them. So all he did was had hope in God. He hoped that God would help him, and so he wrote a letter to him for help. Let's see in today's chapter whether he got that help or not, and what happened at the end will really blow your mind. So in today's session, we are going to read about this chapter. I'll explain the chapter to you para by para, and also we will discuss the moral of the story at the end, after which I'll show you the question answers related to this chapter. Before we move on with the session, let's first understand about the author G.L. Fluentus, who has written this beautiful story. Gregorio Lopez Fuentes was born on 17 November 1897 in Veracruz, Mexico. He was a Mexican novelist, poet, and journalist. His stories were seen as exciting, humorous, and symbolic of Mexico. He has written many novels about his experiences in the Mexican Revolution. He was awarded the National Prize of Arts and Sciences in 1935. His most celebrated work is El Indio, that is, The Indian, published in 1935, is turned into a movie also, which is a fictional study of the life of Mexico's indigenous race. He died on 10 December 1966 in Mexico. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. Crest means the top of a hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. Dotted with means full of. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. A downpour is a heavy rainfall, and a shower is a light rainfall. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately means closely, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Now, we are really going to get some water, woman. The woman was preparing supper. A supper is a light evening meal. Replied, yes, God willing. The older boys were working in the field, while the smaller ones were playing near the house, until the woman called to them all, come for dinner. The house which the author is talking about in the first line belonged to a farmer named Lencho. It was the only house in the entire valley, and it was situated on the top of a hill. And from that part of the hill, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn, which was full of flowers. And Lencho really thought that they would give him a good harvest. But the only thing at that time Lencho wanted was a rainfall for his fields. And so since morning he was only looking at the sky just to find out whether it would rain or not. After that he came back home and he told his wife, whom he addresses here as woman, that very soon they will have a rainfall. Now, Lencho's wife was preparing dinner, and his sons, the older sons, were working in the field while the smaller sons were playing near the house. When the dinner was prepared, or the supper was prepared, Lencho's wife called all the sons to them for dinner. It was during the meal that, just as Lencho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, "These aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces, and little ones are fives." With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field. Regarded means considered. The field of ripe corn with its flowers draped in a curtain of rain. Draped means covered. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones. Hailstones are balls of ice falling like rain, began to fall. These truly did resemble new silver coins. Resemble means look same. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, exposing means opening, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. The frozen pearls here are referred to hailstones. When Lencho and his family was eating dinner, then as Lencho had predicted means foretold the future, it began to rain. There were big drops of rain which were falling on the ground. Lencho could see big clouds approaching that part of the direction. The air was very fresh and sweet because of the rain, and just to have pleasure of that rain, or just to enjoy that rain, Lencho went out. And joyfully he exclaimed, or he told his family, that these weren't raindrops which are falling from the sky. These were actually coins. The big raindrops were compared to 10 cents, while the little ones were compared to fives. Now, in the last part of this paragraph, Lencho is comparing the raindrops with the money, because he feels that if the rainfall is good, the harvest will bring him good amount of money. So for him, it wasn't the water that was falling, it was actually the money which was raining. On seeing this, Lencho was extremely satisfied, and he considered that his field of ripe corn with its flowers was covered with a curtain of rain. But suddenly this rainfall transformed into a hailstorm, and these hailstones which were falling from the sky looked like new silver coins. Lencho's sons were so excited that they ran outside to collect these frozen pearls. Frozen pearls are referred to as hailstones here. Now, in this part of the story, or in these two paragraphs, there are many examples of metaphor. Metaphor means comparison of two things which are totally unrelated. Let us list out what are the examples of metaphor in these paragraphs. The clouds are compared to the hugeness of mountains. The raindrops are compared to coins. Hailstones are compared to frozen pearls. "It's really getting bad now," exclaimed the man. "I hope it passes quickly." It did not pass quickly. For an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white, as if covered with salt. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, "A plague of locusts would have left more than this. Plague is a disease that spreads very rapidly, and locusts are insects which fly in big swarms or groups and destroy the crops. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn. That night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing? There's no one who can help us. We'll all go hungry this year. Lenjo was hoping that this hailstorm passes very quickly, but it did not. For an hour it rained on the house and it covered the entire valley with white hailstones, as if the entire valley was covered with salt. There was not a single leaf on the trees, and Lencho's cornfield was completely destroyed. There were no flowers also. Seeing all this, Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. He was very sad and depressed. And when the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and he told his sons that even a group of locusts would have left some amount of crops for them. But here in this line, plague of locusts is used as a metaphor where locusts are compared to a plague. A plague is a disease that spreads very rapidly and leaves many people dead. And he had various thoughts in his mind that this year he will not have any corn. All their work was in vain. It was a failure, and there was no one who could help them. He was also afraid of the fact that this year they might have to go hungry. That night, Lencho could not sleep because it was a sorrowful night for the entire family. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house, solitary means lonely, in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope: help from God. Don't be so upset. Even though this seems like a total loss, remember, no one dies of hunger. That's what they say. No one dies of hunger. All through the night, Lencho thought only of his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Conscience means an inner sense of right and wrong. Lencho was an ox of a man, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. The following Sunday at daybreak means early morning, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. Lencho and his entire family believed that God was the only person who could help them. God was their single hope. And he had grown up with this belief in him that God looks at everyone. God's eyes look or see at everybody's problems, and they even look deep into one's inner sense, a person's inner knowing of whether that person feels right or wrong. Lencho was a very hardworking person, and this line here, he was an ox of a man, is a metaphor where his hardworking quality is compared to the hardworking quality of an ox. So he used to work in his fields day and night, but still he at least knew how to read and write. So the next Sunday, when it was early morning, he began to write a letter which he had decided to carry himself to the town and place it in the mail. And this letter which he wrote was a letter to God. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again. A peso is currency of several Latin American countries. And to live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm, he wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled, went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. The postmaster, a fat, amiable fellow, amiable means friendly and pleasant, also broke out laughing. But almost immediately he turned serious and, tapping the letter on his desk, commented, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter, starting up a correspondence with God." Correspondence means communication through letters. So Lencho in his letter asked for help from God, and he asked that the God should give him 100 pesos so that he could sow his field again and the crops could come out so that his family will not go hungry that year. And on the envelope, he wrote to God and put that letter in the mailbox after placing a stamp on the letter. Now, at the post office, one of the employees, who was a postman, caught hold of that letter and he started to laugh. He brought that letter to the postmaster, who was a fat and a very friendly person. He too broke out laughing when they looked that this was a letter which was addressed to God, because no normal person would ever write a letter to God knowing that it never reaches the God. But soon, after a minute, the postmaster stopped laughing and then he started appreciating the faith which this man, that is Lencho, had, and what faith he had that he could write a letter to God, because he wished to start with a communication with God through letters. So, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea: answer the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill, ink, and paper. Goodwill means friendliness. But he stuck to his resolution. Resolution means decision. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. Obliged means grateful. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos, so he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature: God. The postmaster was a very wise and a very sensitive person. He did not want to shake Lencho's faith in God. So he came up with an idea and he thought that he would answer the letter. But when the postmaster opened the letter, it was not just about answering the letter. In fact, he had to collect at least 100 pesos to help Lencho. But he had already decided that he will help Lencho. So he asked everyone, his employees or his friends, and he himself gave a part of his salary for the act of charity, or charity means to help others, so that the entire amount could be collected and given to Lencho on behalf of God. They all tried, they all collected the money, but unfortunately they could not sum up to 100 pesos. It was a little more than half. So whatever money was collected, the postmaster put that money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and inside it he just put a slip where he signatured as God. This act of postmaster tells us that he believed in humanity, he believed in helping the person in need, and for helping that person or for helping Lencho, he tried his level best to do that. So this tells us that postmaster had a golden heart. The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man, contentment means satisfaction, who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Such was his confidence. But he became angry when he counted the money. God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. Denied means refused. The next Sunday, Lencho came to post office to check whether there was any letter for him from God. The postman himself handed over the letter to him, and from far he wanted to look at the expression of Lencho, and he himself was experiencing a bit of satisfaction because he was the one who had helped a man in need. Lencho was not surprised to receive that letter because he was 100% confident that God will respond to him. But when he opened the letter and he counted the money, he got very angry. And he knew that God cannot make a mistake, and nor could he have even refused to give money to Lencho, whatever Lencho had requested for. Immediately, Lencho went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow. Wrinkling of his brow means his eyebrows were together as if he was thinking and writing, caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp, which he licked and then affixed to the envelope with a blow of his fist. Affixed means fixed or glued. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. It said, God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest, since I need it very much. But don't send it to me through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Lencho. Crooks means thieves. Now Lencho thought he understood the entire thing, and so he sat to write a reply to God. And while replying, his facial expressions were such that he was really thinking what to express and how to express his ideas. After he finished, he bought a stamp which he fixed onto the envelope and put that envelope into the mailbox and went away. When Lencho left, the postmaster opened the letter, and he was quite surprised to read what Lencho had written. Lencho had written there that he got the money, but he did not get the complete amount. He got only 70 pesos. And he even told God to send the rest, but not to send that money through mail, because the employees at the post office were stealers, they were thieves. And Lencho thought that out of 100 pesos, 30 pesos were stolen by the post office employees, while he got only 70 pesos. So what does this tell us? This tells us that although Lencho had undeniable faith in the existence of God, he believed that it was God who had helped us. But on the other hand, he did not have faith in his own human brothers. He did not have faith in humanity. And of course, he didn't know that the post office employees only had helped him. He thought that those were the people who had stolen his money. Now that we have finished the reading and explanation of the story, let me move on to a quick summary of what we read in this chapter. Well, this chapter is about a farmer named Lencho who was very hardworking, and he had a field of corn. One day he expected a rainfall, and he expected that this rainfall would give him a good harvest for that entire year. But unfortunately, that rainfall turned into a hailstorm. This hailstorm destroyed his entire crop, and he was not left with any money to feed his family over the next year. But Lencho was a person who had very strong faith in God. Right from his childhood, he was brought up with this idea that God sees everything. God looks into everybody's problems and tries to help. So the entire family had a hope that God would help them. So he thought of asking help from God. And how? He thought of writing a letter to God. And so that's what he did. He wrote a letter to God and he put it in the mailbox. At the post office, when the postman saw that letter which was addressed to God, he started to laugh. And with him, the postmaster also started to laugh. But postmaster was a very kind and helpful man, and he did not want to shake that faith in God of Lencho. So he thought that he'll read that letter and he'll help Lencho in whatever way he could, or reply to that letter. So when he opened the letter, he found that Lencho had asked for 100 pesos so that he could sow his field again and harvest a nice crop for that year and make some money for his family. Well, postmaster sat to think, because it was something more than just replying that letter. It was about collecting money, and that was a huge amount. That was 100 pesos. But postmaster was very, very decisive. He had made a decision that he will help Lencho, and so he approached all his employees, his friends, his relatives, and even he sacrificed a bit of salary and collected some amount so that could help Lencho in his future. But unfortunately, he could not collect 100 pesos. He could collect only 70 pesos. Well, that was it. Whatever money was collected, he put it in an envelope and kept it there and waited for Lencho to come and collect it. So next week when Lencho came, Lencho wasn't surprised that he got a reply, because he had that faith that God will reply to him. But when he opened the letter, he was heartbroken, because he had faith that if he had approached God, God will definitely help him and never cheat him. So one thing that came to his mind was that maybe God had sent 100 pesos, but the people in the post office have removed 30 pesos out of it and just kept 70 pesos. So all he had in his mind was that the employees of the post office were cheaters. They were thieves. They stole off his money. So being very angry, he wrote another letter to God, wherein he suggested that next time God should send that money directly to his house instead of the post office, because the people at the post office were a bunch of crooks. So this reply, when was read by postmaster, he was also disheartened. Well, if I try to analyze this story portrays two kinds of conflicts. One conflict is between humans and nature, and another kind of conflict is between humanity or amongst the human beings. So let's look at first category of conflict. Lencho expected a good rainfall to have a good harvest, which could make him money to sustain his family for the entire year. But unexpectedly, against his hopes, there was a hailstorm which destroyed the crops. This is the first kind of conflict. The second kind of conflict is Lencho had very strong faith in God. He believed that God will come and help him, but he did not believe in humanity. He did not have even the slightest idea that it could be the other men around him who might help him with this. He did not have faith in humanity. He did not have faith in brotherhood. He did not have faith in the people at the post office, but he was expecting God to help him. So that's the second kind of conflict which is shown in this chapter. Now let's talk about what is the moral given by this story. When we say that we believe in God and God has helped us, God has taken us from this the situation of difficulty, it is not actually the God which has come. The God has sent those people who are helping us. So when we say there is God, that God is actually within humans, within people around us. So God doesn't come physically in front of us to help, He will indirectly help us through other human beings, through nature or through animals, whatever, in whichever way He feels like. So there is this supreme power above us which helps us. But at the same time, we have to know, we have to understand that God is within us, within you, within me, within each and every one who is around us, who are helping us, who are supporting us, who are loving us unconditionally. So let's believe in the fact that God is in humanity, and let's believe in the fact that we must help each other as God would have helped us. So that's all in this session, and after this beautiful session, beautiful story, let's move on to question answers, wherein I'll be showing you comprehension check questions, thinking about the text and thinking about the language answers. See you again, where I'll be taking up a new topic for my next video. Till then, believe in yourself, believe in others, have faith, have trust. Bye-bye, take care.